Hello, true believers, and welcome to the Powerful Nerdcast. We have a really exciting show for you guys today. As always, I'm joined with my good friend Christian.
Yo, Internet.
And we have a very special guest with us today, the star of the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home, none other than Tom Holland. Tom, thanks for coming on today, man.
You're quite welcome. I came off my press tour from Spider-Man Far From Home. You should go check it out in cinemas real soon. I've got Bradley Cooper here.
That's right.
So what was it like playing Rocket Raccoon?
It was awesome. It was a lot like this. I just sat here and talked into a Muppet dong. It was very engaging, and it was good to...
Doesn't seem like a career very much.
No, it's not. It's more of an in-between fucking Lady Gaga and losing my current girlfriend,
All right.
In all seriousness, guys, this is our good friend Michael. He's actually our intern for the summer, and he's doing a really great job, by the way, Michael.
Impressioning Tom Holland.
And we really wanted to have you on the podcast because you're young, you have different insight than us, and today we're going to be talking about E3 2019, which is, of course, the big video game event that they have every year where they show off all the new games coming out, everything from Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and they had a lot of really big announcements this year, and we kind of want to break it down and talk about some of our favorite moments. So first, I just want to kind of go around the table and kind of get everybody's thoughts. Like, what was your favorite part about E3, whether it be a hardware announcement, a game announcement? And Michael, since you're here today, let's start with you, man.
All right, so definitely on the top of the list is got to be Avengers.
The Avengers game?
The Avengers game.
Okay.
So I was coming in having really high expectations, and I've seen a lot of mixed comments and mixed reviews and things online. But I'm super hyped for it still anyway. I was super hyped, seeing the cinematic trailers versus the actual, I guess, sort of cinematic gameplay. I was really excited to see what kind of direction they were going to go with it, whether it be involved in the Spider-Man PS4 universe or if it's just going to be on a standalone thing. Also, Cyberpunk 2077 is on my list. I'm really excited to see how that's going to play out. Since it's going to be such an open world experience and having, of course, Keanu Reeves
sells everything automatically.
Sells everything automatically.
Yeah.
Take my money already, But so that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's funny you brought up the Avengers game because I was sort of impressed how they pulled that off, because I originally was like, okay, how are they going to pull this off? Are they going to just make a game where they grab everyone's likeness and they just try to continue the Marvel Cinematic Universe? But instead they sort of took the setting, the Avengers headquarters, the big city that we always see, the Avengers headquarters in New York, and the big floating battleships and all that stuff from the first Avengers films. But they didn't exactly copy the likeness of the actors, and a lot of people got upset about that. But they can't keep paying for those people to represent those characters. The point is those characters exist far before Robert Downey Jr. represented Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So they had, if honestly, to me, it's more like some of the later animated series in a CG sort of setting is sort of what I got from this, because if you watch some of the earlier Avengers like cartoon shows, that's essentially what they did. They turned those characters into the animated versions or the CG versions. And I thought it was really good. I'm like, okay, this is kind of exciting, and Endgame just ended, but everyone got all pissed because it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. and it wasn't Scarlett Jo, and it wasn't, I was like, but these characters existed before this, and they don't need to be represented by those people. And a lot of those people are bowing out on purpose. They're trying to move on with their careers. So that was kind of interesting. But my personal favorite stuff, because I know you were about to ask, Corey, is the online gaming platforms that they're launching, the streaming gaming platforms, because I think the internet is finally capable of handling a streaming service like that. And it's kind of interesting that we're seeing gaming go the way of Netflix. Like, it's streamed, there's no hardware that you keep at your house, not really anyway, or there's no physical games anymore, they're all digital. And I know, Corey, you have some reservations about getting rid of physical games, but I'm just excited about streaming games where you could take your cell phone and essentially just attach a Bluetooth controller and play any PlayStation game on it. That sounds interesting.
Well, they even showed that off when they were showing off Doom Eternal for the very first time during Bethesda's presentation. They were showing someone just taking their phone, attaching it to a controller, and just playing the game right there. Yeah. Full on, no frame drops or everything, and it looked awesome.
Because hardware's not going to be important. The companies are going to make the hardware investment. All you have to do is sign up for the service. And to me, that's probably where gaming's going, because even the lines between PlayStation and Xbox are starting to melt. and the lines between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation are starting to melt. Like, because Fortnite's like cross-platform on everything. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's like starting to break down those barriers. Even though none of us really play Fortnite, it sort of is getting that momentum going.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, okay, well, have fun building your boxes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, but seriously, like I was kind of curious about how that format was going to work. Is that essentially just like an emulator, or like it's connected to a huge server, or like?
I just think there's a giant server rack with a bunch of systems, and they just stream the gameplay extremely low latency to you.
So it's like the ultimate cloud service for all these games.
Yeah, it's just like a room full of a bunch of Xboxes or a bunch of PlayStations.
A couple years ago, that was a pipe dream. Now it's starting to become a reality.
But the only reason it couldn't happen is because the internet wasn't fast enough. Mm-hmm. But now that like things like 5G are coming, now that like faster internet plans at your house, like you have fiber at your house, which is an amazing internet connection.
It's disgustingly fast.
Like that's what I'm saying, and that's becoming standard for all cities. Is those sort of internet pipes are becoming available to consumers. So I think that it's purely bandwidth because the server technology is not hard to develop. It is not hard to hook a bunch of PlayStations together and remote connect to them. That's not hard. And then with these amazing software platforms that they're going to build, they're going to make it seamless for all of us. It's going to be just as easy as Netflix or an app on your phone. So yeah, that's coming. And as much as we all love or us older generations sort of romanticize the idea of four people sitting in a room playing split screen with your friends, that shit is just disappearing, and it is all everyone owns their own subscription and is going to play video games like that. Anyway, that's what I got the most excited about. What about you, Corey?
I mean, it's no surprise. Anybody who saw my reaction to Nintendo's presentation knows that it's all about Banjo-Kazooie and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Baron Bird, back to kick some ass. I was just so taken aback by that entire thing. I've made it very clear in the past, I'm an unabashed Nintendo fanboy. Like, yes. I love everything Nintendo. I lap up anything that I can get. And that entire presentation, as far as I'm concerned, and yes, I am a little biased, I think it completely destroyed E3. Their presentation was 40 minutes of all killer, no filler. Nothing but great games, no commentary, and they're all coming out like in the span of like a month after each other. Like so many great big announcements. And it's not just Banjo. Like we got another character who was announced for Smash Brothers. We got Luigi's Mansion 3. We got Platinum Games' brand new Astral Chain. And dare we not mention the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's officially in development. And I know that's a game that all of us have played.
It's going to be here in 5 years.
It's going to be here, I think, a lot sooner than
I think 2 years. I think summer or holiday of 2021.
I'm guessing holiday 2020.
You think?
I know that seems a little soon. It is next year. But this game looks like they're going to be using, or at least reusing, a lot of the assets from Breath of the Wild, which I think is a smart decision.
Yeah, same map.
Of course, they can expand on that map. Who knows? They could create brand new dungeons. We could be going underneath Hyrule.
They could take the enemies and then put a different color on them.
We could have green moblins this time. Exactly. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait for that stuff.
Can't wait.
But as far as like my favorite thing, it's a tough choice between Breath of the Wild sequel and Banjo. I'm not going to lie. The Banjo thing freaked me out. You know that I've been wanting Banjo and Smash for like a really long time.
I don't know what you have left to complain about now.
I don't. It has the perfect roster. Smash Ultimate, it can't get any better now.
Goku's
the closest we're going to get to Goku actually making it in Smash is the fact that we got those Dragon Quest characters. You have that one character, the hero, who looks just like Trunks from Dragon Ball.
That's true.
It's kind of strange to see those Akira Toriyama designs in Smash now, but it does make sense. Dragon Quest is a classic series that's existed for a long time. I've never played it personally, but they're about to release Dragon Quest XI on Nintendo Switch, and I think that might be my first foray into it.
I just want some Goku, I want some Piccolo, I want some Vegeta, and then it'll be Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Like, if there could be one more character that you guys could include in Smash, and the floodgates are officially open now. Anyone can make it in. Like, it could be anyone. Michael, who's it going to be?
Floodgate being anyone
from any lore.
Any video game character that you want to play as in Smash. It can happen.
Man. Like,
it could be Goku. It could be Solid Snake.
What? I was actually thinking about this for a long time. Probably Sly Cooper.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. He's the one with the robot buddy?
No, you're thinking of
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. Sly Cooper is the Thievius Raccoonus.
I'm going to be honest. I think Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, and what was the other one you just said?
Sly Cooper.
I think just Sly Cooper.
Oh, well, they're all like kind of the same. They feel very animal.
They're all from like that mid 2000s PS2 era.
Yes.
But Sly Cooper's a really great character. Like I've only played the first game in the series, but I remember it being really awesome. It has like a cool cell shaded design to it, and he's basically a raccoon thief. That's kind of like his entire shtick.
Yeah.
But he totally would fit in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
I think
he
that
would
would be a great choice. And we haven't seen like I think any Sly stuff.
He
in a
could
long
have
time.
his like ratchet attacks, how he like grabs back onto the stage to pull himself back up.
Or he has like doesn't he have like the hook?
He's got the cane with the hook. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great. Yeah, that could totally work in Smash.
What about you, Christian? What Smash character?
I joke about Goku a lot, but I think I would like. Really, it is Goku. I would like Goku. In
You
there.
really want Goku in Smash?
Yeah,
don't you?
I do.
It's not gonna happen.
I know. It's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen. It has to be a video game character, man.
Come back to me on this. I'll come up with a good answer.
Okay, mine is the fucking Doom Slayer from Doom.
That doesn't fit at all.
It does fit, and you know why? Because the people who make Doom, id Software, they have had a fantastic relationship with Nintendo as of late. They brought the last Doom game on the Nintendo Switch. Doom Eternal is also coming out on Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
What better way to promote that game than to bring in the Doom Slayer himself, who is iconic, the very first-person shooter character.
Yeah, he probably is. I mean, they're just going to have to tone down his violence.
Of course they are.
They can't have him rip Mario in half and then
they're
like
not
beat
gonna
someone
do
to death with
as
his
cool
spine.
as that would be. But I mean, they can include like all the big wacky guns and all that stuff. A big chainsaw that doesn't necessarily draw blood, but can still do a lot of blunt damage.
Make little sparks when it hits you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have M-rated characters in Smash now. Joker from Persona 5 is from an M-rated game. So it's not that out of the realm of
An
possibility.
M-rated cartoony anime game.
That's true.
Okay.
But there is blood and very, there's a lot of adult themes in that game, which don't
I
typically
wouldn't know.
see.
I wouldn't know. I don't play that game.
It's awesome if you haven't played it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like adult themes in that game which totally don't belong in the world of Nintendo. But like I said, the floodgates have officially opened, and I think Doomslayer would just be freaking awesome.
What about Conker?
Conker would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Conker would be. It's another one of those characters that I don't think they're gonna make happen. I mean, the fact that Banjo is here and he's also from Rare, that would be really awesome. But Conker's also like very obscure. Not a lot of people played his games.
Not a lot of people played his games, and on top of that, like it wasn't. They did a remake, but they never actually made a sequel.
No, they've never made any real official sequel to Conker. Have you ever heard of Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah, I played it on the Game Boy Color.
Okay, well, yeah,
which one was that one?
I think that was called Conker's Pocket Tales.
Yeah, that one.
And that's a little different, but they released a game on Nintendo 64 called Conker's Bad Fur Day, and they're like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to do something really weird. And they released an M-rated platformer. It's like this super dirty South Park-esque game with Conker. And the entire story is actually about him on his 21st birthday getting completely shit-faced, and he gets lost on the way home, and the entire game is him just trying to make his way home, and he has like a hangover the whole time.
That's funny.
But it's like a Nintendo-styled game, but M-rated. It's hilarious.
I didn't know that game was M-rated until someone told me later, because like with the advertising, it just looked like a Banjo-Kazooie to me or something.
That's the thing. It plays like a Banjo-Kazooie or like Super Mario 64, but it's just this really
like there's a giant
game.
shit monster. There's like
you literally fight against a giant piece of shit in that game, and you have to like throw toilet paper at him and shit.
It's a funny game.
Yeah, it's really hilarious. But Nintendo was really embarrassed of that game when it came out. Like they tried to hide the fact that we want nothing to do with this, even though they published the entire damn thing. But Conker would be awesome. But yeah, I'm still sticking with the Doomslayer, man. I'm all Doomslayer.
So, there's a bunch of other big games that came out that I think a lot of people were talking about. Like there was the Cyberpunk game that has Keanu Reeves in it.
Which I actually didn't even see gameplay until today when we were on a lunch break and we were looking at.
What does the gameplay look like? I haven't seen gameplay.
It's a first-person open world game.
Okay.
And
open world games are hard to do, though.
They are.
That's the thing. Like, I can't think of a bunch of bad ones, but I know they don't come out fast because it takes forever to make them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Assassin's Creed does it pretty good.
Oh, good or bad?
Good. I mean, they didn't release one this year.
There was No Man's Sky, which was like a half-done open world game. I remember paying $50 for that game and being so upset.
A lot of people were, man.
A lot of people. They should have been. You just essentially went to a new colored world in your spaceship and then just pointed your gun at things and watched them evaporate, collect material, and then upgrade your spaceship's looks.
Oh, at least it looks nice, I guess.
That only lasts for about 2 hours, and then you're over that.
But open world games are like, I mean, they're clearly all the frickin' rage right now. Like, everybody's trying to make their big open world game.
Yep.
But it looks really impressive from what I saw. It's definitely impressive from a graphical standpoint. Like, the world truly looks alive. Like,
It seems very much like Altered Carbon. If you've seen that show on Netflix, have you seen that show?
I've not.
No, it's very like techno apocalypse sort of looking. Yeah. Very what's the other one that what's his name was in Indiana Jones?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
I was gonna say it's basically like they took like Blade Runner
and Tron
and
mushed it together,
and all that shit. Even a little bit of Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and just like threw it into this blender, and it just regurgitated Keanu Reeves. And it looks awesome though. Like I honestly, like when I finally saw the gameplay today, I was like, okay, that looks really clean. But I wonder how, like, fun it's going to be, if it's going to be able to hold that up. I mean,
here's the thing: open world games can look amazing. Like Elder Scrolls, I thought looked amazing, but I think the combat is absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
because you just like and I'm like, okay, who cares if you have this awesome like game if the combat isn't fun? Like for me, if you give me a great open world game, but then make it first person and a shooter, and the shooting isn't engaging, then I don't care anything about how pretty your game world is.
But then you also have like Red Dead 2, which a game that I didn't like at first, but man, did it warm up on me the more I played it.
Yeah, that's a great game.
That is a gorgeous open world. I think it goes without saying, we already mentioned it, Breath of the Wild I think is just
one of the best single player open world games ever.
I mean, to me it's like top 10 favorite games good. Like I loved Breath of the Wild. Again, I'm biased. I like Nintendo, I like Zelda, but
when did that happen?
It's just that game just really impressed me when it came out, because there'd never been a Zelda game like that before. In fact, both of you guys, I know for a fact, those are the first Zelda games that you guys ever played.
Yeah. Yes, because the other ones seemed very puzzle based, and they were. And I don't like puzzle games because once you can't beat the puzzle, you can't go any farther. Mm-hmm. But in Breath of the Wild, if you got stuck in a thing, you could just leave and go do other things.
Exactly. And it just gives you so much freedom, which is... I can't wait to see what they're actually going to do with the sequel, how much more they're going to change things. I mean, do you think you'll get to play as Zelda?
Ooh, that's a game mechanic I could care less about. Okay.
You don't really give a crap about that? The option? It would be a big option for the series, though, to be able to switch between Link or Zelda.
I think it makes sense. What's about to happen is this is like the Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild. Or what was the other game? The two games that sort of came after each other?
Yeah, there was Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I feel like the other one was the Ocarina, and this is sort of the Majora's Mask version, because it's the creepier, magical, like more magic-y version.
And it's not too often that like there's a Zelda sequel that gets like a direct sequel. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, where like each game is kind of its own thing. It's not connected to the previous. Speaking of Final Fantasy, are you guys like fans of that series at all?
No.
I think I played it once. I wasn't really into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I heard the other day? Someone was talking about why Final Fantasy VII was such a big deal back in the day. Like, because Corey and I, we were in like middle school when that game came out, or elementary school. I forget.
It was 1997, so I believe I was in 5th grade, 6th grade.
So it was like the first time Western audiences has sort of seen like an anime game.
Yeah.
And it blew up.
Or at least, it was also the first 3D Final Fantasy.
But also big in the US and a heavily Japanese game.
Oh, it tore up everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So it was sort of like the world's first, like, imagine if no one had ever heard of like Spirited Away, and then the first anime movie to ever show up was Spirited Away. It would like blow everyone's mind.
Yeah.
So the point was, it was sort of like the first anime game, the first persona, if you will, of games in the United States to blow up. So that's why everyone always has fond memories, because it was so different. And I think that's why, I think it's pure nostalgia why everyone's excited about the remake.
Oh, of course. I mean, I've never really even been a very big Final Fantasy VII fan, or even Final Fantasy in general. But like the remake is just looking great, man. Like what I love about it too is that it's a complete remake. It's not just a remaster. Like they're doing everything from the ground up. They're changing like
new voice acting, everything.
New voice acting. The battles are no longer like turn based. It's like full on action game at this point. Yeah. And you get to switch between different characters. Again, the main reason that of course I'm interested is I'm a Nintendo fan. I love Smash Brothers. They put Cloud in Smash, and whenever they put a character in Smash, I'm inherently like, I kind of want to try that character's game out. Because like when they brought Joker into Smash Brothers, I had never played Persona, but when they announced him, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Persona 5 and see what this is all about. Yeah. And I ended up loving that game so much. So
that's because you're a weeb.
I am a little bit of a weeb. I'm not going to lie. I'm a super weeb. But I ended up loving Persona, and it introduced me to a franchise that I otherwise would have probably never given a chance.
Did you like Breath of the Wild?
I loved Breath of the Wild. I think I spent months on that game, just because like I would pick it up for an hour or two at a time, and I would explore every single inch of that map, as far as I could.
The map was fun to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just take in all the detail, but even the story, I was a little upset. Finishing the campaign, I was like, that's it. I kind of want to play more, but then there's different things to explore, there's different things to do. There's all the puzzles and the is it the temples you explore?
There's the 4 main dungeons.
The dungeons, right.
And then of course there's the shrines.
The shrines.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Which, man, that was fun getting through all those bastards.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that game was just so awesome. I really wish instead of the expansion packs just having more missions, they would have added more area. That was the one thing I really wanted, because I felt like the hero's journey that you can see where you've gone on the map. I have specifically saved areas of the map I haven't gone to, so when I ever go back to the game, I have a new area to try. And because to me, more the areas were more interesting than some scripted sequence with a guy telling you to go here to collect that. That's not that interesting to me. So, but I'm a huge open world fan. That's one of the main reasons I play video games anymore. And also the reason why I love Red Dead, but I don't ever play it anymore, because that game, it feels like it takes an hour to get into it or to do anything in Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get somewhere, you got to get on your horse, and it takes forever.
Yes, it takes forever.
But for some odd reason, traversal in Zelda never got old to me. I just loved it, just running around and doing whatever. There was just so much freedom to do what you wanted in the game.
Oh, you could also fast travel at any time. You could just open your map, go, doot,
especially after all the updates and the DLC stuff they added. And I highly recommend the DLC. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
they add at least another 15 hours worth of material to the story.
Let's get to the thing everyone wants us to talk about: the new Gears of War.
Oh God.
Don't care about it.
Don't give a fuck about Gears of War, dude.
What about?
I'm not an Xbox guy though, but I mean, Michael, you're an Xbox guy, right?
Unfortunately, at this point in time, like I said, we talked about this earlier. I am a little upset at the competition between, I guess, the two major consoles, because of course we've got Nintendo with the Switch and all, but the two main console war being the PS4 and the Xbox One, and it's been like that for some time. I've just been really disappointed in the way that games have been released, or currently releasing, because PS4 has all these amazing exclusives, and I'm just sitting over here on my Xbox we have Halo, cool.
If you want to play first-person shooters online, Xbox is a good system.
I agree.
If you want to play online, Xbox is a good system. But if you want fun, all the best games, I feel like PlayStation is the better move.
Exactly. So all the the first person, or not first person, but first player experiences like Spider-Man and the new Death Stranding game that's coming out, I'm really excited for, but I can't play.
Whoa, Spider-Man wasn't on Xbox?
Dude, that was a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah,
whoa.
It's because it's owned by Sony.
I was really upset at that.
Yeah.
They should have just made a ton of money and sold.
They could have made and they still killed it with that game.
Yeah.
It sold so much. It was a huge hit for the system.
I never played that game. I just watched all the cutscenes on YouTube.
Okay.
And that was good enough.
Well, it's a great game, man. It's one of the best open world experiences I ever played. That's why initially Red Dead kind of bothered me, because I played Spider-Man leading up to Red Dead's release, and I got to it, and what I hated about Red Dead is how it holds your damn hand so much at the beginning of the game. It takes forever to get into things, and within literally 3 minutes of Spider-Man, you're already swinging in the city and having fun.
Yeah. Well, Red Dead really wanted to make you care about the characters.
They did, and in that sense, they did a great job. I just didn't realize that at first.
No, everyone's like, it's slow. And the other thing is, normal open world games, they have something happen every 40 seconds to 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. Red Dead's average time of something happening when you're playing that game is 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. It is intentionally a much slower paced game. Yeah. So, and also once you beat it, there's not much going on in the world. You kind of just, then it's up to you to collect animals.
That's when you turn on cheats and you just go around killing everybody.
Well, I had so much money, I didn't need cheats. I could just buy every bullet everywhere I
like putting
went.
on infinite dead eye and just.
Oh, well, that's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Just taking out 20 dudes at once is so damn cool.
Yeah, well, that is true. That's easy. Yeah. What is the other game? Death Stranding,
which is Kojima's new game, which you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I still don't even know what the fuck is going on in that game, dude. It's so strange. I'm not even going to try to understand the story until I actually sit down and play the game. But even the gameplay itself is I'm not sure what's going on. It's an open world game. You're a dude who traverses the world. You can climb mountains. You can run over landscapes. You can shoot people. You can fight people. and you run away from weird ghost creatures. Like, I just don't know what the fuck is going on, but it looks really good. Yeah. You know, the fact that it's being made by Kojima and he has, like, no restraint on making this game is what has me excited about it, because no one's going to get in the way of him, and he's just going to make an experience which we all know is going to be jaw-dropping. But I wonder if it's going to be way too ambitious for its own good. Like, if the story is going to be just so fucking insane that it overshadows everything else.
To me, it feels like a Metal Gear game, but with out Solid Snake in it.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt there's Metal Gear influence all over it.
All over it, yeah, all over it. And it's sort of an interesting game, and I hope it goes well, because Kojima deserves a big win after he's left the other studio that he built.
Yeah.
Konami, yeah, he needs a win to show that he's not a one-trick pony through that production house. He needs his own series. But the thing is, if it doesn't go well, I hope he dials it back so he does make more realistic games.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
Because I don't want him to go away. I just this game might not be.
You know, though, when that game comes out and it's super successful, that Konami's just gonna be like, oh fuck, we fucked up.
Yeah,
like so bad.
Who knows, man? Creative people are hard to work with. Maybe he's a real dick, you know, or maybe Konami's a real dick. Who knows? Behind the scenes,
I didn't like Metal Gear Solid 5.
I did,
you know, which is
but
surprising.
Not. I liked it like 7 out of 10. But the stuff I liked, I really liked.
Yeah.
The stuff I didn't like, I just completely didn't care about. Yeah. You know.
Well, the thing is, like, I was done with Metal Gear. Like, after Metal Gear Solid 4 and even the spin-off of Metal Gear Rising.
You saw Snake walk through a microwave. We were good.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm spent. I've seen everything that needs to be seen. And the fact of the matter is, Metal Gear is the type of game that kind of hinges on enjoying its story to truly enjoy it. And they could add new gameplay elements all they want. But the fact of the matter is, to me, Metal Gear Solid 5 didn't add jack shit. It was just another open world game where you shoot stuff. Like, there might have been some elements that were done really well, but, like, it was just more of the same, to be perfectly honest. And also, I'm still salty about the fact that they got rid of David Hayter as the voice of Snake and a bunch of other characters. It just felt foreign with all these other new characters, and they went with a more realistic style. They dialed back the anime of Metal Gear. And let's face it, Metal Gear is basically just an anime series.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. I could see that. But yeah, Death Stranding looks good. I'm really excited to play that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good.
What else should we talk about? There's a ton of other games.
We're still talking about Gears.
Gears. I don't give a fuck about that game.
At all?
I was for the longest time. I loved like the first one all the way up to the third one.
What happened in the third one? All the main cast died?
You know, it's funny. I don't remember the plot of the game.
Something about the locust and the lambent and all this other shit.
Yeah, you know, the plot is definitely something I can't remember as well, but it was more for the online experience. Like, I don't remember.
It had a very good technical, I remember doing 2-on-2s against people, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like, there's a wall. Get behind it. Shoot. Get behind another wall and shoot.
No, you had to flank people. It was engaging.
I thought the Gears 3 was the first one to have the online multiplayer experience, I believe. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted it. But going through, I just kind of forgot about it. And Gears 4 came and went, and I had no clue what was going on for that. I didn't play that one. And then now Gears 5. It's just kind of like
everyone's a lot less buff. They had to make a woman the hero.
That's been one of the most controversial elements about the brand new game, is that it's this female character who's the lead of the story. And according to a lot of people that I've talked to, they're all just like, she is just not that interesting to be the main character of this story. But then again, I never really thought the story of Gears of War was all that good. To me, it was just more of a supplement to the multiplayer.
To me, it was the problem with the story of Gears is that there's no end. It's like you go through all these strands of characters. You have Marcus, which is the main. He's from, I guess he was from the first all the way on. Did he die at any point?
Yeah, I thought he killed himself at the end of one of the games to blow up the locust nest or something.
In the cutscenes I saw for the new Gears, Marcus is around.
He's around?
I don't remember.
Still voiced by Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah.
All I hear is fucking Bender when I hear him speak, though. It's so distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked following that for a little bit, but going on through the fifth title, it kind of gets a little old now. It's like you're still fighting these locusts and these creatures and these, what are they, monsters or zombies or what are they?
I have no idea.
I don't know what they are. They remind me of mixes of things from like Resident Evil and like zombies kind of like, and it just doesn't, like, if there's no end to it, like what are they fighting for? They're in a war, Gears of War. Okay, what's the point? I know they're fighting for salvation and they're trying to.
Where are the normal people? It only seems like
yeah.
you see the warriors and the locusts. You
Like
never
the
see like the citizens
right.
or like what are they trying to save? Like, you don't really get it. Is there some like underground?
There's no discernible society in any of the Gears games.
It's just it
dudes
had some
with guns and
weird. It
monsters.
had some weird like modern Greek or Roman look to it, and then there were no citizens though. There were just the warrior people left. It seemed like a fun environment to shoot people in. But it didn't seem like a very built world, if that makes sense.
There's substance missing from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it's taking the approach of throw a strong female lead in, and so now we're caught up with our PC times, unbuff everyone, give them more realistic arms, because they all look like giant football players still wearing pads back in the day. Now they don't. Now they look a little...
That was one of the marketing ploys that they had for Gears 3, was that you could get a skin that you're in a football uniform.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it just seems like Gears was always. It seems very Halo-y, except Halo has a better story. I will say that not much, but I will
lore, though,
a better lore. Like the Halo rings is more interesting.
Which is also let's get away from Gears for a second because I think it's pretty
because no one
obvious.
really cares. Oh, except you maybe.
Yeah. Except for
but Halo is coming back in a big way.
The chainsaw thing was a cool thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Having a chainsaw bayonet is a really cool idea.
Yes.
It's still a cool idea.
Yes.
Except that Doom has just always done the chainsaw better. Sorry.
But it's just a chain. Anyone can add a chainsaw melee
Anybody
weapon.
can.
But they added a chainsaw to an assault rifle.
They did.
But the Doom guy could duct tape a chainsaw to a shotgun.
Exactly.
And then
that
would
is
have
just awesome.
Yeah, we need some demonic duct tape.
But the other big thing that I think Microsoft is going to be hinging on is the return of Halo, which when Halo first came out, it was this phenomenon.
It was one of the reasons I'm on Xbox.
Exactly.
Because
the Halo momentum.
Yeah, it was all, back in the day. I say back in the day,
This was a while ago now.
A while ago.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone was playing. So,
giant controller from Xbox One. Do you remember that giant thing?
Club a moose to death with one of those bastards.
Yeah.
The PlayStation didn't have that.
No.
So that's why I didn't go that route. I had the PS2 growing up, and then I switched from the PS2 to the Xbox 360, and then I was on Halo, to get with the times and be with everyone. But slowly moving out of this, the last gen console, moving into the, the new gen, which is the Xbox One and the PS4, and then even further on, there's a newer gen. We don't even know what's going to happen. There's going to be probably the PS5, and then the Project Scarlet, which, seeing all the, promotion for it from E3, I'm very, extremely not excited. All they threw up was some flashy numbers and specs, and there was no...
They're 120 frames per second.
Yeah, 10 times faster than the last system. It's like, that's not exciting.
You can say numbers and, excite people all day with specs, but when you don't show anything, I'm not excited, because they announced Project Scarlet was going to be the Xbox One back in 2013.
They did use that code name back then. Yeah, you're right.
They sure did.
Yeah.
And... we were all excited for that coming out because, this is the next new thing. Cool. And then it turns out, it's just Xbox One. Okay, cool, whatever. But now, a lot of people are getting pissed off because they just got the Xbox One X.
Oh, like the Xbox Pro or whatever?
It's not even that old.
It's not. It came out maybe a year ago or less. It just came out. I had a buddy. He blew his entire bank account on. He got a PS4 with the Spider-Man bundle, and he got an Xbox One X. I don't know why he had to have both of them, but he wanted to, have that 4K. He got the PS4 Pro with the 4K experience on both ends, so he could have the exclusives and then also be on the good online service with the Xbox. But now he's seeing. What is it? It's announced fall 2020 for Project Scarlet. He just got screwed out of his purchase.
I really actually believe that what's going to happen is they're not going to kill the old systems because they're going to this online thing. They're just going to say, hey, we're going to be backwards compatible for a while.
It's going to slowly fade out like they did the last gen. With the
well, I mean, the people at Sony have already said even their next system is going to be fully backwards compatible with everything on PlayStation 4.
Well, that's because everything's going digital.
Yeah.
You can't have someone buy a digital sale, but then require them to have old hardware to play the digital sale.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense.
But I mean, it even goes as far as like you can put your PlayStation 4 disc in the new PlayStation 5.
Oh, that far? Okay, that's
and
good.
You can play whatever the fuck you want, which is great. It justifies all those other purchases, and it gives you an excuse to buy a lot of games you never had a chance to play. I love the backwards compatibility thing, and I really hope that Scarlett's going to go like full on with it.
So yeah, for PS4, I'm not on PS4, but how does it, like, you can just backwards any PS3 disc to PS4?
No, not necessarily. That's the unfortunate truth. PlayStation 4 does not play PlayStation 3
But you also got to realize they were going through a transition with Blu-ray. There's a difference
that was,
there.
The biggest difference. And PlayStation 3 did use Blu-ray as well, but apparently there was just something in the PlayStation 4's code that just prevented it from being able to use like the discs of the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, Sony wasn't making enough money, so for some reason the code didn't work.
That's one thing I really don't like about the current feature is I had all these 360 games going in, and I got the Xbox One.
You know what I love? PC, because I bought Half-Life 2 back in 2005, and I can still play it. On any place, on any PC. I just have this log in my Steam account.
Always had a leg up on it. It's definitely that.
Yeah. Well, I will say there's some old real-time strategy games I love, kind of like StarCraft type games where you control armies and build armies. And there's a few of them that do not run on Windows 10 because Windows 10's drivers are very different now versus Windows 95 or whatever I was playing it on back in the day. And those games are long dead. No one's going to make a patch for that. So they do die off eventually. But you could always get an old computer off eBay and then load your Steam account on that and play through that.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
But Xbox is poised to come back with Xbox Scarlet. Apparently, that new Halo game is going to launch with the system.
What's PlayStation calling their next PlayStation?
Probably PlayStation 5.
Please don't get creative. Just do that.
No,
Just do
I
that.
actually prefer it to be simpler.
Well, I don't think Xbox is going to be Project Scarlet.
Oh yeah, that's just the code name.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll definitely have
Project
Xbox.
Nextbox. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just thought of that. I can't be the only person that's ever thought of that.
No.
But Halo could potentially bring them back. But again, it's just more Halo. It's more of what we've seen before. And what they showed at E3 was just cinematic. Yeah. No gameplay whatsoever. And more of what we always see, which is just Master Chief walking around, jumping out of an airship, and it's the same stuff that we've seen a million times. Don't get me wrong. Master Chief's a cool character. He has a cool design. But I need to see some gameplay and see how this is truly going to evolve this stuff. Because the fact of the matter is, Halo was really popular. Halo 1, Halo 2... After Halo 3, things started to teeter off a little bit.
Yeah,
it just didn't have the same steam that it had, and of course, Bungie decided to leave the series and handed it off to I forget the name of the new studio that works on it.
Is it 343?
I think it is 343.
And they tried to introduce new Spartans.
Yeah, they introduced new Spartans. They introduced new enemies, which, to be honest, I wasn't... I never owned an Xbox or any of that stuff, but I've seen a lot of people play the games and stuff, and I kind of liked some of the concepts they came up with, but again, it was basically just more of the same.
Yeah, because that's about the time we got Halo Reach. Mm-hmm. And going off, was it Halo Reach, then Halo 4, and then Halo 5, right?
Holy shit, I've never played any of those Halos.
Yeah, see,
and we used to play Halo all the
Halo
time.
1 and 2 were like religious.
No, it was Halo 3 for me all day. It was, you would hang out on a Friday night, and it was, you battle your friends on the split screen, 4-person, or we played Forge. And we would just mess around and...
I remember summer of 2007 playing Halo 3 all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun.
I remember some Blood Gulch on some Halo 1.
Oh, man. Blood Gulch.
Some Blood
classic
Gulch.
Stage.
Yeah, I mean,
Playing against our friend Zach, who could fucking snipe us from anywhere, son of a bitch.
Yeah, some people were so good.
God, he was so good at that game.
Griff Ball. That was it. Griff Ball is my favorite.
Yeah, there was... Look, Halo is kind of like... It has this nostalgia momentum on it. As long as these games don't royally suck and they get Master Chief to be the main character again, stop making these new squads of Spartans and make everyone care. They don't care. It's just not going to work. And all of a sudden they're going to say, no, the new main Spartan's a female Spartan. It'd be like, oh, man, you're fucking up the games. Just like that.
The problem is, I think they're going the same route as Gears. The story that was there originally in the first original Halo has kind of lost its steam over the years. If you go through Halo 1 and you see this amazing story build up, and then now you're on Halo 4, 5, and then Infinite, or whatever it's called. That's what it's called?
Yeah, just Infinite.
Infinite. We don't really see that same connect as we had back then. It's, okay, here's Master Chief again. What's he going to do? shoot a bunch of aliens. Like,
I agree. It's like they kind of came to a light conclusion. It's very much like Matrix 1. Like they sort of wrapped it up. They didn't need to keep expanding the world and show you everything. They could have, not that they should have financially. I get why they made more Halos, but I'm like, it kind of wrapped up. You know, it was a good tight story. The ring you were on exploded, you stopped it from destroying the universe, and like maybe Halo 2 and 3 still had good continuations, but I think very much what you're saying, the steam is gone. The momentum of the story is not.
I mean, maybe they could have just focused on the multiplayer aspect.
I think that's what I was about to say. Is I think it's focused more on, you know, this generation is not about, no one cares about story mode or whatever now. I mean,
no one wants a 40-hour story anymore.
Yeah, for some reason, you know.
I disagree on some of those senses.
I do. I want 40 hours, but I'm just saying the majority of people.
Yeah, I love the story modes. Like, I could play those for days, but it's, you know, you have this big franchise and it's known for its online multiplayer. People are going to want that more than the story mode. That's why they're saying now for like even the Call of Duty franchises, they want to stick more focusing on, like, the last Call of Duty that came out. They didn't even have a story mode. They focused more on...
Oh, straight up? They're just like, fuck that now.
They said no and just did... They have their own Battle Royale mode, and they have the zombies, and that was it. They didn't focus on any...
No death matches anymore?
There is
the traditional modes were also there.
There is the traditional multiplayer, but... There's no more story anymore. I think they're bringing it back, maybe because some people...
Can you still do that thing where you run around real quick holding knives and just stab everyone to death? You remember that from like Modern Warfare 2 and 3?
I remember.
You just run around and go shank, shank, shank.
Crap.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Call of Duty is another one of those series too. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's falling from grace, but it's just kind of like reached a homeostasis of being the same thing over and over and over. You know, they've only been able to barely evolve it, but somehow it's still been fairly profitable. I mean, there's still a lot of people who love their Call of Duty. You know?
Right.
Call of Duty's interesting.
I mean, when it comes to shooters, though, like, I mean, I'm just Doom.
Yeah.
You know, that's my type of shooter. Like, what was that video we were watching earlier? That guy named Donkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he did that amazing, like, you know, he's explaining like how you play Doom, when, like, you know, in a typical other shooter. He's like, he showed a clip from like Call of Duty, and he's like, here I am playing Call of Duty, and he shoots a guy. He's like, see that? No, you probably didn't, but I just shot that guy and killed him. Now this is what a typical thing in Doom is like, and he shows like the map from like a top head perspective, and then he just shows like this red line going all over the place, and he's just like, Dah! Like, that's all you do in that game is just run around like a madman, just murdering
the
things.
giant like monster thing, and he shoots it, and it like blows a hole in it.
He's like, did you see that guy getting headshot? Now look at what happens when you kill something in Doom.
Yeah.
And just you see that big fat monster just like explode when it gets killed. And just like, Doom Eternal looks fucking awesome, dude.
I will say, though, it looks like more of the same. So if you weren't into the last Doom, there's no way you're into...
It's basically Doom bigger and better.
Yes.
You know? But I loved the last Doom game so much. Like, it was mindless, but it was such a great thrill, like, the entire time. Like, I played through that whole game practically in one sitting, and I was just like, holy crap, that was fun. Most fun I've had in a shooter in a long time.
I remember you, when you borrowed it from me, you were like, that game was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. It is a really good game. Mm-hmm. And then Corey traded it in without telling me. He borrowed my game and then traded it in.
Did I really do that?
Yeah, you did. I was like, can I get it back? And you're like, oh, I traded that in for this new game. And I'm like, but it wasn't yours.
I reimbursed you.
He did. He gave me $20.
That was the trade-in price at the time.
Because I would keep like saying, when can I get that back? He's like, oh, maybe next week.
How that happened?
I know what happened. You got excited about the next game and you just grabbed all the games sitting in front of your system and traded them in.
That's what happened. Because usually when I do the trades again, I just like put the stack. I'm like, here, I'm gonna look around. Tell me what I get. But yeah, Doom Eternal is definitely one that I'm really looking forward to a lot. There are so many other games that I'm looking forward to this year. Like there's a new there isn't a sequel to Breath of the Wild coming out this year. There is a remake of a classic Zelda coming out on Switch in September, which I know you guys have only played Breath of the Wild, but I highly implore you to at least give it a chance.
That's the version of Zelda that I don't like. Okay. Is the puzzle,
the top down.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not my thing.
I still implore you to give it a chance. I'm getting it. I'll let you guys borrow it if you want to play it. But
look,
it's fucking
Nintendo doesn't make an unpolished game,
no.
Especially with their big few franchise names like Mario, Zelda, whatever the big Zelda name, whatever the big AAA titles.
And I'll go ahead and tell you right now, one of the biggest games of the summer is coming out next week, and you're going to hear about it a lot when it comes out. Mario Maker 2. The game is going to absolutely explode with popularity, especially because now it's on a really successful Nintendo console. Social media is going to blow up with it. Everybody's going to be playing it. Creator-made levels. That game is. It's
going to be a great viral sort of system, like because you can make those impossible levels, and you can make You can just make a lot of fun stuff.
And with all the new features that they've added to this one, like, I cannot wait. I'm taking a day off from work to play that game. Like, I'm so pumped up for it.
Do the people you work with know that?
They do.
Oh, okay, good.
They do. It's going down. I mean, the very next month you have a brand new Fire Emblem game that's going to be coming out. The very next month you have Zelda, which is going to be coming out. There's a brand new Pokemon game, which is coming soon. And let's talk about the most badass game of the entire season, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing seems like a game made for grandmas.
It really is. It totally is.
Do you like Animal Crossing?
I've never played it.
Okay.
People love that game, though.
I've heard of like great touching stories of like, there's a very famous one online of like a guy whose mom was disabled and he loved Animal Crossing. He thought it would be fun to play, not with her, but he introduced her to Animal Crossing. And then unfortunately, as her health deteriorated, she passed away and he went and played her save. And she had saved a bunch of notes for him. You know, like, oh, look at my collection of this, you know, because they would compare Animal Crossings. And he sort of fell away from it, but she still loved it. And I was like, okay, I get what this game is. It's like this digital collection game where you can build your house and pay off your house. And it's essentially fun Sims. It's Sims.
What other game you can do that in?
Real life?
Minecraft.
Oh. It's like Minecraft Sims.
Minecraft.
It's like all those games.
Yeah.
You know? I think Minecraft is fun with your friends. I don't think Minecraft is fun by yourself.
I've never played. I don't have much of an opinion on Minecraft.
I could waste so much time on Minecraft by myself.
Tell me, because you're probably, literally, Corey and I may have played an hour of Minecraft between us. Like, what is fun about Minecraft?
It's just mindless. Like, it's...
you go around, you dig up minerals, you craft things, you beat up the creepers.
It is the satisfaction that you start in this empty world and you build just whatever you can think of. Like, there is no instruction manual. I mean, of course, you can look up how to build things or whatever.
Use the redstones to do stuff. Yeah.
Right. There's no set thing that you have to do in Minecraft. You can just do whatever you want. There's no rules, basically. It's just an interesting... it's not anything like The Sims. It's not anything like all the other creators. It's just its own... It's its own world. It's
very much its own. They give you tools, but your creativity can fuel it. You know, essentially. I've seen videos where dads play it with their kids. Yeah. You know, I've seen videos where boyfriends and girlfriends play together. You know, I've seen it all, but I just never really got super into it. So I was like, what is Minecraft and why is it fun? But I feel like they're trying to like reboot Minecraft with like new story modes and stuff like that.
See, that's the stuff I don't care about. They're trying to do like the Telltale series Minecraft thing. Yeah. And that's mainly for kids, but like the OG Minecraft, just by yourself, because there's all these people that play online Minecraft, and there's all those servers. Yeah. You join in and you gotta, some of those, they make you pay dues to be a part of the server, and I never found that as fun as like loading up a brand new survival world or a creative world and just building something. It takes your mind off of like it's a really good distressor game because it's like you come home from work or you come home from school or whatever and you just want to just create something or even destroy something. You could take TNT and just put it all over the map and blow it all up if you want. But
it is interesting. It was a fun game. I definitely bought some free or pirated version of it and just walked around the world and survived like 3 nights in a row. Yeah. And I saw how you had to like build a hut real quick or like just dig a hole and hide in it while night came because all the skeletons would come out. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's a survival game. Plus, once you get so far ahead of it, it can become whatever you want because you have so much resources in the house to hide in. I was like, okay, Minecraft seems fun, but I feel like I'm at the point where I understood it enough. Like once I was like 5 hours in, I was like, this is only going to be fun with other people now, And maybe I'm wrong, but I like playing with other people, in that game. I think it would be fun. We should totally build a land center here. That would be fun.
God, that would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Minecraft land.
But, I mean, there's no doubt Minecraft has a huge cult following. The character I think his main character is Steve.
I mean,
they call him Minecraft Steve.
That's the name of the guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was requested to be in Smash Brothers as well. Which I don't know. I think at this point they can make anyone work. A lot of people were kind of worried about that though too.
I can see it.
I literally think that's like that would have been cool 4 years ago, but I don't think that's as interesting now.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I totally agree with that. He's not. The problem is, you can only do a set number of things. I guess with his combo moves or whatever.
He could whip out his sword as an attack, and then his shovel as a low attack, or he could do he could throw TNT as a projectile.
For what I see, because Minecraft is such a blocky game, I could see him operating sort of like Mr. Game & Watch works. Sort of, he's all static moving, and he moves like one frame at a time or whatever. No, I can see it. It's definitely cartoony enough for them to use.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time figuring out what his combo moves or whatever he would do to attack. I mean, the sword or whatever, but like, it's all based on, what they can create out of it.
Yeah, it could totally work. But guys, before we wrap up today, I just want to go around the table one more time, and I want to get your top 3 favorite games or moments of E3 this year. Michael, go ahead and start with you.
Like I said, definitely Cyberpunk 2077 and Avengers is my, at least my top 2. I would have to say, definitely for Nintendo, I got really hyped up with the Legend of Zelda sequel. I know we didn't see much about it, but that really got me excited to see what's in store for coming years. But yeah.
Nice. Christian?
Cyberpunk, and then there was just a myriad of sequels I'm excited about. Let me just say, I think they're taking the momentum of a lot of great series, and they're rolling with it, so I'm excited about that. And something we didn't get to take much time to talk about is I'm excited about VR. There's a lot of great new VR headsets coming out. There's the
Oculus Pocket Edition.
Yeah, the one that doesn't require you to be connected to a computer, essentially. Yeah. And then there's the Valve's VR system, which is like the top of the line. You still need a badass computer, but like the viewing angles are better.
Gary's mod.
Gary's, and there's like it tracks your fingers. Yeah. Like their controllers track your fingers because they get strapped to your hand, and your hands move as you're playing the game. So when you grab something, your hand grabs for things in real life instead of just hitting A for grab. And I'm like, okay, VR's getting somewhere. And I heard someone talk saying VR's the new thing, but it's not going to come within 5 years in the sense of like the way mainstream gaming is happening. Right. Because who actually, do you guys know anyone that owns a VR headset?
I do, actually.
You know more than one person that owns a VR headset?
No. Yeah, isn't the whole point is you try to play with friends online? And
very much what a modern console ecosystem is, and it's not there yet.
It's just right now, before, I guess, the Oculus,
Rift?
The Oculus
Rift?
The Rift, it's the... I can't remember the name of it.
You mean the one that's coming out or the one that's out now?
Coming out, the smaller, the Pocket
edition. We'll just call it the Pocket, whatever.
Yeah, the Oculus Pocket.
Yeah.
That would be a lot more affordable for people to do, because right now the one that my friend has, it's the Oculus Rift. It's the $800 headset
that requires a $2,000 gaming PC attached to it.
Yeah, you have to have the $2,000 PC on top of the $200 controllers. So you have to have the headset, the controllers, and a PC to run it off.
That's why it's more like a dev tool right now instead of a real gaming console.
Plus buying the software to go with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come with software. You have to buy the games.
It's just the way with all new technology. Only the rich people can afford it at first, and then once it starts hitting middle America, the software comes behind it, and people can play with it. But the main thing is like, it's just I really hope VR gets a lot more steam, because the idea of sitting in a room and having a sword fight with someone really seems interesting to me. And then the other thing that seems really interesting is like shooting games being super, not so much realistic, but more involved. Like when you're hiding behind cover, you're really ducking down and shooting.
Yeah.
And we watched that one demo by that team called Node. They have their VR gaming engine they're coming out with, which I forget off the top of my head, but it just looks so cool. And I'm like, VR is what's going to get me putting a new gaming console in my house, because right now I have no intention to sign up for any of these new streaming services or buy a new console. Not until the new GTA.
I mean, I'm sure I'm going to upgrade to the new PlayStation when that happens, and of course any new Nintendo console. I'll see if Microsoft can win me over at some point.
It's the Oculus Quest.
The Quest.
Yeah. The Quest.
That's the one.
What about you, Corey?
Yeah.
Top
it's
things.
so hard to choose because, obviously I love Nintendo.
Just everything Nintendo, I got it.
I mean, everything Nintendo, but Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Something I'm really looking forward to.
One of the sequels I'm talking about.
I just loved that presentation so much. It got me so pumped up for that game. I love the first one. I can't wait for the next one. The other big game is, of course, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Love the first one. Can't wait for more. And this other one, which we didn't even talk about today, but it's a brand new Switch game that's exclusive. It's called Astral Chain. It's made from Platinum Games.
Ass Chain?
Ass Chain.
Okay.
Astral Chain, made from Platinum Games, the guys who made Nier Automata and Bayonetta, and they're known for their action games. It's a big, brand new open world exclusive for the Switch. It has an art style unlike anything I've ever seen, and it just looks fucking amazing. I wanted to say Banjo, but the fact of I'm really excited for Banjo, but it's an add-on to a game that I already own.
Thank you for keeping that in perspective, because
Yes.
I'm like, if Corey's favorite thing is a single DLC character, that's bullshit.
I mean,
you know?
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm so pumped for Banjo. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's really those three things that I'm really looking forward to. But there are just so many other things I can't wait for. Death Stranding, I think, is going to be fantastic. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like the first time I've ever been legitimately interested in like Final Fantasy and wanting to actually get into the series. Square Enix Avengers. But yeah, it's those three: Zelda, Doom, and Astral Chain. Just, yeah, this was a lot of people were kind of disappointed in E3 this year. But I think there were collectively enough things to make me actually enjoy it this year. Obviously, again, I'm all about Nintendo, but still, I really enjoyed it.
Well, I feel like we covered E3 pretty good. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I think we got it good. First and foremost, Michael, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
That's Tom Holland.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Tom Holland, Spider-Man himself.
Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Whatever you do, don't see Men in Black.
That's a discussion for another day. But guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Powerful Nerdcast. Again, if you guys would like to help support this, make sure to check out the links in the description box below. You'll be able to check out our Patreon and our PayPal account. If you guys had a favorite game or moment from E3 2019, tell us what they are in the comments section below and what you hope to see from the future of gaming. If you guys have any topic suggestions or things you want to ask us personally, stuff you want us to talk about on the show, please tell us in the comments section below. Christian, you got anything else for us?
No, I just want to say thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to leave comments with suggestions for the show, because next month or next week when we do the next one, we will absolutely go back and farm some of those. Since E3's over, I would love some cool new topics. Maybe we fit like 15 different topics instead of one big one on E3. And thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, the Powerful Nerdcast is out.